Yes, here we are, which means, of course, it's Wednesday at noon Eastern time. It's time for the High Noon Hemp Show, the season finale of season 11, the exciting, the cliffhanger season finale. We'll see. We'll see what we can pull off. I am, of course, Stoner Jesus. He is Beach. You can find us every Wednesday live and video on demand on the Hemptations Beach Facebook page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and at Hemptations on Twitter. If you just want the audio, you don't want to see all of this. I don't know why you wouldn't, but that's fine. Maybe you're driving or something of the sort. Of course, you can get the podcast. Just search the High Noon Hemp Show on Podbean, Google Play, and the iHeartRadio app. Welcome, everyone. Beach, how is things going in the world of Hemptations this week?
Things are good. Things are good. Enjoyed missing the show last week. Sorry if you tuned in last week and I wasn't there. We weren't there. It was a beautiful day, and I just felt like I needed to take it off. So we are back for the season finale. I guess that was the real cliffhanger, as we didn't do the season finale last week, and so now we're doing it. And thank you for being here, everyone that is here. I am watching the YouTube Jedi Hemp channel feed. If you want to communicate with me there, Joe watches the Facebook stuff. So if you post anything that direction, it also gets to me when appropriate. Um,
Indeed.
and so, thanks everybody again. It is high noon. I am Beach, and I am high above the Sharonville location for the High Noon Hemp Show. Um, I just want everybody to know right out of the gate, big disclaimer in the state of Ohio, nothing is going to change with Delta 8 in the state of Ohio as far as over the counter Delta 8. But in its ultimate wisdom, the Ohio medical marijuana program has decided to add some Delta 8 policies, and it's really just labeling things. And so um, they're now telling the manufacturers, the growers of the medical marijuana in the state of Ohio, that and the final products, that they have to put Delta 8 THC, that's how it has to be described, on the labels. Um, better known as Delta 8 or just D8 in the world these days. It is becoming a very popular 100% legal hemp cannabinoid. And I think a lot of people are again seeing benefit. What we're hearing from a lot of our customers is that it is a really good. It's a little bit of an even a little bit of a better sleep aid than CBD. It is definitely, I think, it has a little bit of side effects. Something I think you feel something. I think that's another reason why you know governments and places and things are, oh no, oh no. It is nothing crazy. It's not a high like Delta 9 THC, which is the most euphoric cannabinoid that we have found so far. But it does, and it's and again, I think that this backs up the sleep aid part of it. It is a body buzz, kind of. It's a calming buzz, I think, and so, and again, I think that's why a lot of our customers are seeing even more success using Delta 8, um, because of it's real calming, so to speak. And so, but again, nothing in Ohio is changing as far as over the counter. Um, it's just the medical marijuana, Ohio Medical Marijuana Board is changing their policies on Delta 8 THC, and it's just a labeling thing right now. And so, and I don't know, I don't, I don't know why anyone would say spray, because you have to use it, more or less like take it to an isolate and then put it back on flour to get enough to make a difference. Um, and that's why, and we are seeing that. We're seeing CBD flower sprayed with Delta 8 to get that. And we do the carts and the disposables, which is really popular, and gummies. Um, when it comes to Delta 8, but I really feel like it would be silly for THC, for medical THC, to boost that Delta 8. Maybe again, if the patient is trying to use it for sleep issues, calming issues, then definitely. But they might as well just come in here, because I'm sure it would be cheaper than going to the dispensary to get your Delta 8, Delta 9 THC, whatever it may be. And that may be, where they're going to start, possibly where they will start seeing Delta 8 tinctures, or carts or disposables in the dispensaries. But even then, they would have to extract that from their THC plants, not from a CBD like how we do it, because that's how our medical is set up. And so they they would actually have to grow specific, say CBD maybe, um, and then extracted Delta 8 to do that. And so again, it seems quite absurd that anyone that was involved with Ohio's medical would mess with Delta 8, because it's already hard enough just to mess with Delta 9, which is the medicine that the people are supposed to be getting. um, and they have just made it better. There's going to be more grow facilities added. There's going to be more dispensaries added in Ohio. Our medical is not that great. But again, Delta 8, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the medical or um, THC world,
Yeah.
because it's industrial hemp. And so don't fear, Ohioans. Our Delta 8 is not in jeopardy at the current moment, and will never be in jeopardy, in my opinion. I'm hoping. So we'll see. All right. Speaking of Delta 8 and all good things at the Hemptations locations, let's jump right into the product spotlight. Um, the first product that I would like to spotlight, and I don't remember if I did this yet or not, but these are our newest strains of CBD that we're offering. So we just got Electra, Lifter, and Sour Suver Haze. Now we've had Lifter from other places before. This is grown in Oregon, and these are THC farmers that switched over to CBD. And so one of the things I was really impressed with is there was no shake. It is all nice looking buds, and so the quality of this stuff is um, I'm really impressed with. So now the next one, speaking of Delta 8, and Wilfred's is getting super pimped this week, actually. But I do consider what I'm doing with Wilfred's two separate things. Now, we already have the Wilfred Hempettes. Um, and again, what I really love about the brand right out of the gate when we picked up the Hempettes was the fact that they're using clean ingredients, from the cannabis to the paper to whatever. And they're kind of holding true now with their own Delta 8 gummies and what they call moon blunts. And so, uh, those are on the shelf now. And again, I didn't pick them up because we necessarily needed them on the shelves, because we have our own Delta 8 gummies. We have our own other brands, but with the Wilfreds, once again, you're getting um, just, I know I'm impressed by the fact of their standards of product. And so, and I'm not just saying that because I had Jason on the show, the actor, inventor, creator of Wilfred. And if you don't know, if you haven't, you're tuning in for the first time. Wilfred is a TV show that was in 2 seasons, made in Australia, and then 2 seasons or 5 seasons there was an American version. and it's about a character that can. He's the only one that can see this dog as basically a human in a dog costume. It's great comedy. Great comedy. No doubt about that. Um, and introducing what should have probably been the first Wilfred's product, we now have the Wilfred dog treats on the shelves. And so, super stoked about this because this is probably the most appropriate Wilfred's product that they've come up with. And I can definitely see them being popular here. A, because we do sell a lot of dog treats, CBD dog treats. And B, you check the packaging there and you can see it doesn't have in it what you don't want in it. And it does have in it what you do want in it. And so, once again, super, super clean product for your dog, as opposed to somebody just taking some generic, crappy dog treat and putting CBD in it. This is, pretty much their own formula, and also meant to be better as opposed to worse or not as good, I suppose, just as a delivery system. And they're only 3 milligrams per treat, and so um, you know if you have a really really small dog, you're breaking those in half. You know, 1 to 1.5 milligrams is probably good for a dog that's 10 pounds or under, for sure, just a little bit. And then you can always give more as if your dog is bigger. We give Josie, shoot, I'll probably give her 10 to 20 milligrams for thunderstorms. Um, maybe even a little bit more on top of that, just to help her with her thunderstorm anxiety. And we do the oil and treats. I can't wait to break out some of these for her. Even though Wilfred does not like Dobermans, uh, be- because they run in packs, if I remember correctly from the show. But here's also a little teaser for August, and we're going to shore this up. But Wilfred himself may be making an appearance here
Wow.
at one of these Cincinnati locations, if not all the Cincinnati locations, possibly even the Dayton location, sometime in August. Sometime in August. So it's a teaser. I'm gonna shore up these details soon enough, and and we'll go from there. But we'll see. Cross your fingers. I can't wait. Let's get on to the last product. This one I just love because I get to say that we got integrity. That's right. We got integrity hemp, 100% hemp integrity farms. This is actually Delta 8 um, stuff, um, but it is integrity. Integrity. If you know anything, that's from South Park, and that is obviously I guess it's a obviously a real farm, which I thought originally they were making fun of it. Um, but they did a whole season on Integrity Farms. Again, the T-shirts they wear say 100% hemp, real big letters. And then the list of products I remember at the store was they did have like T-shirts and then flour. So it was like did have hemp goods in the store um, on the show. So welcome to the shelves, Integrity Hemp products. Um, there you have it, 4 from the store. Now, the one from my door, I know I showed way, way, way back in the original, one of the original episodes. We're up to over 130 episodes now. But these are my kitchen shelves. 2 years into the show, guess what? They're still there and they look just the same. um, this might be the picture from 2 years ago, but they're still doing their thing, holding everything up on the shelves that we need to. There's no deterioration of them. They don't get wet. and so we didn't have to seal them like we did the kitchen counter, which I'll probably show that um, in a show coming up soon enough. But this is just press board cut into shelves and hung up on the wall. And again, still still doing its job years later. I've been up on the wall at least probably a good, I'd say 5 years now, possibly. I have to go back and look when we actually installed the, the hemp kitchen, as I call it. We put in a hemp kitchen counter, put in these new shelves, put in another set of shelves tucked in over on the other side of the kitchen, made out of hemp. And so I often forget because I live there that I have a hemp kitchen, so somewhat of a hemp kitchen, but I do. Of course, I do. So there you have it on the product spotlight. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. Um, here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
So, of course, brings us to a segment which I'm just thinking has not won any awards yet. It's pretty inexplicable at this point. The new podcasting, video casting awards have come our way for the beachwear segment. But it is what it is. We'll keep plugging away, and someday they will recognize that this is the greatest segment in internet history, and they'll give us like a big plaque or something. In any case,
They don't like me. They don't like me.
it's where hemp and fashion collide one day to be award winning, because we asked a very important question, and Beach gives us the answer. And I'll ask it now. What are you wearing, Beach?
That's true. It's true. I cannot beg for nominations, but I can tell you what I'm wearing on this particular Wednesday, head to toe with hemp. On the old lid there, we've got the conscious trucker hats. We do sell those in the store in different colors and whatnot. My T-shirt is a Satori tee, but it's got the pure hemp papers logo on it there. My Latka, I'm not sure actually how to pronounce my shorts, but I love these tie on cargo shorts of mine. It's spelled Lakhays. Lackhays shorts, maybe. I feel like it's a different language and I'm not even close to how it's supposed to be pronounced. I love them either way. If you look closely in those shorts pockets, you can see my Green Spring Technologies pen. Travels everywhere I go, that I have a pocket to put it in. Got Satori is really getting pimped this week, by the way. We love Satori, always have, but I've got my Satori boxer briefs as well as Satori socks, my no shows on. And then one of my favorite pairs of Adidas shell toes. These are my superstars because they're black and natural, which goes well with like half of my t-shirts anyway that are natural colored. So there you have it, folks. If you were wondering, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know on this glorious Wednesday on the High Noon Hemp Show.
Indeed.
It's true. Speaking of hemp clothing, Allbirds. Here is a pic of their new summer collection, which is made from hemp. This is it's hard to see because just like my what are you wearing, Beach, when I wear natural color, it's like camo against a natural background when they got white clothing on a white background in the picture. But this they've come up with a real fun name playing off of CBD, but they call this line the Tree BD Camp line. So it's Tree BD Camp line. And again, this is the Allbirds summer collection using hemp as their material, and so I might have to check those out. I'm not sure if it's women's and men's or men's, and I'm not positive. Now Allbirds is, I think, more known for their all natural shoes and eco conscious shoes as well, and so getting into the hemp clothing line, which is it's growing every day, this next article, I love this because the article was titled basically 100% legal hemp cafe opened in Thailand. Okay. Now the fun part about this is that's the name of the store. 100% legal hemp cafe.
That's good.
Brilliant. It's 100% brilliant, in my opinion. Again, if I would have had to have come up with another name beside Hemptations, I think 100% legal hemp cafe or just 100% legal hemp store. That's quite brilliant. Um, and so, good for good for them for coming up for a brilliant name, especially a brilliant name for a headline, because again, it adds emphasis to the controversy, especially in Thailand, because industrial hemp is new to Thailand, and I believe that it's all government controlled. So I'm sure they're having to go through the government, whatever it is that they're doing or using as far as hemp. Um, but 100% legal hemp cafe now opened up in Thailand. So if you're traveling over there, go check that out. Here's a couple bills and whatnot that we need to get some support for. AB 45 and SB 235 in California. And again, this one opens up the pathway for CBD to be allowed in foods, drinks, and dietary supplements. Um, Now, basically, on the federal level, we do have a federal bill, S1698. S1698. So call your state representative and whatnot and tell them that you support the Hemp Access and Consumer Safety Act, which basically, I believe, puts the pressure on the FDA to do whatever it needs to do to classify CBD as GRAS, which is generally regarded as safe. So it too can be um, labeled on food, drinks, and dietary supplements with uh, either nutritional value or um, any type of labeling that we can't do right now because on anything because it's not generally regarded as safe. So, um, we need to definitely support that. We need to get on the, they've been putting pressure on the FDA for years about doing something, either proving that it's not safe and then pulling it off the shelves everywhere, or proving that it is safe and allowing the consumer to be educated more as to what they're buying. Because, right now, according to the FDA, we can't put nutritional facts on our CBD products. We can't put anything like that. We can't say it's FDA approved because it's not FDA approved. um, and so, that those things need to happen. So definitely get a hold of your state representative. Tell them that you support this is a federal situation, S1698, the Hemp Access and Consumer Safety Act. Um, and then there's also, and I don't really know what this is, but you have HR 841, which is the Hemp and Hemp Derived CBD Consumer Protection and Market Stabilization Act. Other than this will create standards for CBD products. Now, hopefully, again, and I believe that this will basically prevent people from making CBD products in their basement and then selling them on the street, because I think you'll probably see the fact that you'll have to be processed in a facility that has been accepted to make food and drink products, even though it's not a food and drink product. Um, you will, I think it will put some standards on the manufacturing and processing of CBD, that's probably not a bad idea. Hopefully it won't take it too far. That again, it will force smaller companies, smaller makers out of business, which often with government regulation does happen. There's a fine line there somewhere where, yes, of course, I want everyone to be held to a higher standard. Um, but when you go too far, then you just make it really, really hard on the average person. And, the bigger people tend to move ahead then, which I think is part of government regulations
Yeah.
and kickbacks that they're not supposed to take and things, all that good stuff that's not supposed to happen in the government that we all know happens in back rooms anyway. I'm not assuming anything. So work on the, get a hold of your representatives and whatnot. And tell them you support all these. I will look a little bit closer into 841 because I just saw that today, and see what that really means. But I do know that it's some standards and regulations if it passes. Um, you can also go to Vote Hemp's website, and they have a petition to increase the THC limit to 1%. So if you are behind that, and we all should be behind that, there is again no euphoric value, or very, 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 very little euphoric value and 1% THC.
Yeah.
Um, I just think that it makes it better on what they call that full spectrum availability for people, to be able to use a little THC for therapeutic value over the counter, um, but they're not going to get a buzz from it, um, and also makes it a lot easier on the farmers, because now that we're trying to bring that down to 0.3%, we shouldn't see anybody that even comes close to 1% if we do make it 1%. Maybe 5% or 6%, unless they're on purposely growing, and eventually, they'll start to rise those numbers up. But right now, the standard is 0.3%, and so what's mostly available um, gets you way under that number. And then if you do happen to come up a little higher, or that seed that is coming up at 5% or 0.5%, um, but it's still a good CBD strain, now becomes legal to grow as well. And so we should be looking to bump those numbers. I've always said that. Everyone in the industry has said that since we did, and 0.3%, we don't even know. I don't even know how that became the international standard,
Yeah.
however many years ago that became the international standard. And that was before we started. That was the international standard. And so I honestly have no idea where that came from. And of course, they don't test for THC in France, where they grow for fiber and construction material. They don't check for they never have checked for THC in Germany, where they grow for um, composite products for vehicles. They've never tested in the Ukraine, where they grow an endless amount for grain itself of the THC content. And I've always said, why would you? If you're going to build car doors with the hemp, who cares how much THC is in it? you know, if you're gonna build a bridge in France with hempcrete, who cares how much THC is in it? You know, I guess that depends on how high you want the bridge to be. um, but anyway, I will forever say that, with the exception of consumables, it should not matter how much THC is in your hemp, with the exception of consumables. Again, um, even the seed product, once again, you can have the seeds of a 20% THC plant have zero THC in them. Now there might be THC on the surface, so you want to make sure the outsides of the seeds are clean if you're going to eat the whole seeds or use the whole seeds for something, which is something that they do anyway. It's a shaking process for the most part to shake whatever may be there. But again, there is zero THC in hemp seeds. Now I know there was a fireman who won his case proving that hemp foods made him test positive for THC. But I will continuously call BS on that science. I don't know who they got in to prove it. Now they've convinced the jury of that. But I'm calling BS on the science because all the science has always told me there's zero THC in the seeds, zero THC in the seeds. And so anyway, my point stands that unless you're, and even if you were worried about consuming the seed, then they exclude that, But um, I'm telling you, if you're going to make composite out of it, you're going to use it, make fuel out of it. You're going to make clothing out of it. You're going to build a house out of it. You're going to paint the walls with the oil, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter how much THC is in it to begin with. So, we need to test end product, not the field, not the flower when it comes out of the field. None of that. Test the end product, and then that's what it, and then care less about how much THC is in there. That's where we need to be eventually. We're slowly but surely getting there, but it's going to still take a while. And we've got a farm bill coming up somewhat soon, so we'll see where that takes us with industrial hemp. Couple of big names out there. Again, we got Marshawn Lynch with the NFL joining the I Love CBD, and so should the NFL. Got Anthony Joshua, who was a gold medalist and the heavyweight boxing champ. He's getting behind CBD. And again, if you fight for a living, fighters are they really like the benefits of CBD. There's no doubt about that. We're seeing more and more of them. So if you're a pugilist, you probably want to add some CBD into the diet. Jane Fonda, of course, she's more and more about her. I look young because I use CBD stuff or whatever. DJ Khaled, he's throwing his name into the CBD game. So the big names are still popping up there, and even I found an article in National Golf or National Club Golfer, which mentions that Lucas Glover, Bubba Watson, and Scott Piercy are all current CBD users, and that golfers love it for managing pain and inducing relaxation. Two things obviously that would make you a better golfer would be not having as much pain and being calm. You got to be calm to be a good golfer. There's no doubt about it. Even though the game is very stressful in the brain, you still have to be calm. And again, I got half I shouldn't say my uncle in Upper Sandusky, Ohio has, a lot of people in Upper Sandusky, Ohio, because there's a golf course and the golfers there, he's turned them on. And they love it. They love it, Um, and so, this goes all the way back from Cunningham, old Big Willie Cunningham locally, um, talking about how CBD took off two strokes of his golf game, and that's probably been 5 years ago. That's when he started talking about temptations in CBD, because he swore on his show that CBD took two strokes off his golf game. And so, if you don't know, Willie Cunningham is a huge name in Cincinnati. Attorney turned radio star, advocate personality, ranter. Uh, and I can tell you this, man, I don't believe he would say something if it wasn't true. He doesn't need to. And so, um, I know he's getting paid to support somebody else's stuff, but back in the day, yeah, he used to say, "Man, we always know, man. If somebody came in for the gum, that's because Willie sent them in." Willie mentioned the gum and Temptations, and they come running in. And so, anyway, um, that's the local big name, one of them that definitely supports CBD as it is. Uh, More big name, and I've been talking about AGI Denim for a while now because they seem to be outsourcing their product to quite a bit of designers to um, put hemp in the clothing, and they have achieved their first cradle to cradle certified fabric. It's called HempX, which is interesting because HempX was an event that happened down in Asheville for years and years and years. But their fiber HempX has achieved gold level certification. And I looked a little bit into the cradle to cradle certification, and this requires minimal water use, minimal chemical use. It is a eco-friendly standard that they have achieved here with this Hemp X fabric. So, you know, look for more designers and more clothing makers to be using the Hemp X. And, I don't look for AGI denim to slow down anytime soon when it comes to coming up with new hemp fabrics. Um, and so, that's weave and percentage of hemp and flexibility and things like that. That we've been working on China for the most part. China's developed most of the hemp fabric that's out there currently. Um, but now we're seeing more. We're seeing other international companies adding hemp to their lineup, um, so that it's a choice for designers. It's a choice for clothes makers or fabric users to add into or use in whatever they're making, um, which is all I've ever asked for. Just make it a choice, make it a choice, and make it economical too. And that's what we're seeing now. Hemp fiber, hemp fabric has always been more expensive because there isn't a whole lot of it out there. Um, there should be more, but again, we know the cotton industry controls. I don't even want to venture how much the percentage of fabric used in the world
Yeah.
the cotton industry controls, but it's a lot and it's awful. Again, unless it's organic cotton, there's no competition with hemp, and it's awful for the planet. And so, seeing more and more fabrics with hemp is what the planet needs, if nothing else. So good for AGI Denim for continuing their eco-friendly desires with their fabrics, because that's it's what we need for sure. Um, this last picture, I'm going to end with this in the news. This is the the Margaret River Hemp Processing Facility, which is opening in Western Australia. Now, the entire country of Australia just legalized hemp a year or two ago. Now, there are provinces, I think, that were growing for certain purposes before that. But what I love about this is they're going to process fiber. They're going to make what looks to be wood composites, um, and then also what appears to be hempcrete. And that may just be that they're processing the material to add to a hempcrete if you want to build with hempcrete. Um, but what they're not holding is CBD. And so again, for the world to get on board, in no less the United States, because we need more of these, and they're starting to open up more in the United States as far as multi-purpose processing, which again breaks it down from the hemp fiber to the hemp herd, as they call it, which is what the hempcrete is used for, and breaks it down into those parts where it can then move on to a fabric or a house or animal bedding or wherever. Um, Knowing that it's a cleaner, better version of what's out there now. But we need more of that. We need more fiber, but we need more fiber processing. We need more hemp houses, but we need more hemp processing to get that material to the construction people, so that again it's convenient, it's cheap, it's easy, it's all those things that we're competing with now, um, that are all those things but not eco-friendly. you know Concrete is not eco-friendly, cotton is not eco-friendly, oil for that matter, that's not eco-friendly. And so all those things can be replaced. Majority of those things can be replaced, composite plastic not friendly, with industrial hemp. So kudos to the Margaret River Hemp Processing Facility in Western Australia. If you want to grow hemp in Western Australia for fiber or um, construction material, or hopefully grain, you can do all those things and get processed. Um, because I know hemp food is now legal all over Australia as well. So, all right, all right, all right. I've talked about this before, but James Cameron, famous movie dude, James Cameron, he's grown industrial hemp in Australia for, I bet, 10 years now. I bet it's been 10 years now. And the only reason we found out is because some kids raided his fields and it made the news because they thought it was pot. They thought it was marijuana, and it was not. But I was like, James Cameron's growing industrial hemp, and a lot of it. And so it's a great resource. I would think that it would be quite beneficial to Australia, whose resources are quite minimal. And honestly, I mean, I can't even imagine how much stuff they have to import, because Australia doesn't have a whole lot of resources that I know of, natural.
Yeah.
And so industrial hemp it's a great plant for that entire island. And I know New Zealand um, is starting to really embrace hemp, hemp food for one. I see periodically stuff coming out of New Zealand where they're really embracing hemp food. And so the whole world's coming around. The whole world's coming around. All right, let's get on to some events that are happening soon and get everybody on their beautiful high noon hemp day. Um, let's see, June 25th through the 27th. We've got a couple different ones this coming up here. The Pennsylvania Hemp Festival in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, and also the Southern Atlantic Hemp and Arts Expo in Fletcher, North Carolina, happening um, June 26th. Coming up, I believe that's this Saturday. They're actually doing they're going to use hempcrete to build with, and you can help from 10 to 2. And this is in Zeeland, Michigan. I didn't have a chance to look it up. I don't know. But you can go to Critter Barn. This is a great name. Critter, Critter, Barn, BRBARN.org for more information. Critterbarn.org. If you're anywhere around Zeeland, Michigan this weekend and you want to go help work with hempcrete, that would be kind of fun. July 12th, the funnest event out there, the Hemp Coffee and Books event in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, from 5 to 6:10 p.m. That's right. And we're less than a month away from Hemp Week, July 17th through the 23rd. So get ready to celebrate that. Um, I have to write an article. I need to write an article about hemp for that. And then also July 17th, starting Hemp Week down in Frankfort, Kentucky, you've got the Kentucky CBD and Hemp Show um, at the Capitol Plaza Hotel. And then beginning of August, if you're also in Kentucky, you've got the Kentucky Hemp Association's annual conference and trade show in Louisville at the Melwood Art Center. So I haven't been to the. I need to update the website. I haven't done that, and so I will get these on at hemptations.com. Most of these events and things that I tend to mention on the show are on the About page. So that's the second page of hemptations.com. Everything that's about Hemptations and relevant to us is on the first page, including the fact that, yes, we are still the number one smoke shop and green sustainable store in the greater Cincinnati Dayton area. I forget I need to brag about that on occasion. Didn't get any questions. I think I've once again ranted a little bit to put some of my beach thoughts out there this week. And so, that being said, remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptations.
See you all next week for season 12.
Season 12.